Sagittarius, what was taken from you is being returned, and this is just the first miracle. Do you feel it, Sagittarius? As if something is silently shifting in the universe, as if the stars themselves are moving just to call your name. An ancient, quiet but powerful stream of energy is rising within your soul, as if the planets are summoning you back to your rightful place. Like the gentle wind of early autumn, it doesn't shake everything around, but it's enough to let you know something is changing. Perhaps you don't say it out loud, but deep inside, you feel as if the universe is calling your name. Calling back the things you thought were gone forever. Calling you, the one who has endured so many trials, to now lift your head high. Because what has been lost is never truly gone. It's simply waiting for the sacred moment to return. And that moment is right here, in the journey you are about to listen to. In the next few minutes, I will walk with you through the mysterious movements in the Sagittarius star chart. Not just predictions, but messages from the universe, where every loss you've experienced carries an unfinished promise. Because what rightfully belongs to you will come back. In a stronger form. In better timing. And ready to lead you into the most radiant period of your life. If you are a Sagittarius, or if you carry the energy of this noble fire sign, write in the comments below this video. I am ready to receive my great destiny. A comment is not just a declaration. It is how you send a signal to the universe that says, I am ready. And the universe always responds to those who believe. If what you hear in the next few minutes awakens something deep within your heart, share it. A like, a share, it's not just an act of kindness. It's how you sow light for those still waiting for their moment of rebirth. Believe this, what you give in love will return to you as a miracle, exactly when you need faith the most. And now, let's begin the journey of discovery. What is returning to you, the Sagittarius who once lost a part of yourself, but never lost hope? Have you ever asked yourself, why does life seem to take so much from you? Why do the dreams you once cherished break apart before you can even touch them? Why do those you love most leave, right when you need them the most? And why, even after you've tried so hard, until you thought you couldn't stand again, does something inside your heart still quietly melt away? If you're a Sagittarius, I don't need to explain further. Because you've lived with those questions for far too long. You know what it feels like to stand on your own mountaintop, looking down at everything you've tried to build, and wonder, do I truly belong anywhere? But you know what? No one born under the sign of Sagittarius is meant for an ordinary life. Because you don't just carry a heart within you. You carry an entire journey. Sagittarius doesn't live to possess. They live to seek meaning, truth, and ultimately, awakening. You are the zodiac's pilgrim. Not because you love to wander, but because your soul refuses to accept limits. Since you were young, you felt something stirring in your chest, a nameless calling. And so you go. You leave what no longer fits. You let go of relationships that make you feel small. You walk away from paths that feel too safe, to move toward things no one else dares to touch. But on that journey, Sagittarius is also the one who loses the most. Because courage always comes with a price. And freedom, sometimes, must be traded for loneliness. What have you lost over the years? A person who once was your sky? A dream you once held as everything? Or perhaps, a part of your soul, whose voice you can no longer hear? I understand. And the universe understands too. Because, dear Sagittarius, only in losing do you learn to cherish deeply. Only when stepping into the darkness do you learn to see where the true light shines. And only after walking a path that seemed to break you, do you begin to understand that nothing is ever truly gone. They are only finding their way back to you. In a fuller way. In a more mature way. And in a way no one, not even you, could have imagined. Because this is the very lesson your Sagittarius soul chose before you were even born. To learn how to trust, even when there is nothing left to hold on to. To learn how to walk, even when your feet bleed. And to learn how to open your heart, even after it's been broken again and again. You are Sagittarius. You are the bearer of the sacred flame. A flame that does not blaze in spectacle, but warms deeply within. Quiet. Steady. But when the time comes, it will burn down every limitation that has ever held you back. And now, after all the trials, you are standing in the very moment your soul has waited so long for. A cosmic cycle is unfolding, with Sagittarius at the center. What returns to you now does not come from regret. It comes because you have become someone worthy of what you once could not yet hold. You have gone through loss. You have touched sorrow. You once doubted yourself. But you did not fall. You kept your optimism, though some called it naive. You kept believing in light, even when your eyes were filled with tears. And because of that, you are now being rewarded by the universe. Jupiter, the planet that rules Sagittarius, is returning to a sacred position. Once again, the great expander touches your consciousness. Not to start a brand new path, but to complete one you left behind. If you once lost an opportunity, now is the time it returns. If you once lost someone, now is the time they reappear. If you once lost yourself, then in this very moment, you are slowly remembering. Do you feel it? A surge of energy rising in your chest, like a whisper from the heavens. You still have things left undone. You still have light to give. And you are worthy of receiving all of it. The return does not come from regret. It comes from the fact that you have become someone worthy of what you once were not strong enough to hold. You have walked through loss. You have touched sorrow. You once stopped believing in yourself. But you did not collapse. You still held onto your optimism, even if they called you naive. You still believed in the light, even when your eyes were full of tears. And because of that, you are now being rewarded by the universe. Jupiter, the ruling planet of Sagittarius, is returning to its sacred position. Once again, the great expander is touching your consciousness. Not to begin a new journey, but to complete the one you once abandoned. If you once lost an opportunity, now is the time it returns. If you once lost a person, now is the time they come back. If you once lost yourself, then in this very moment, you are slowly remembering. Can you feel it? A stream of energy rising in your chest, like a whisper from the heavens. You still have things left unfinished. You still have light to offer. And you are worthy of receiving all of it. I know there were moments when you wanted to give up. You wanted to turn away from hope, because it made you tired. You asked yourself if there would ever be another chance, or if everything had passed you by. But Sagittarius was not born to end in regret. You are the symbol of rebirth. You are the one who walks through pain, and turns it into a light that guides others. Like your own arrow, you were born to aim forward. Every loss was only a necessary step back, to pull the bowstring tighter. And now, you are ready to fire again, further, stronger, and more precisely than ever. Allow yourself to believe again. You don't need to know all the answers. You don't need to understand every reason. Just take the step, and the universe will guide the way. Because some things you thought were lost were merely being held for you. So that one day, when you are ready, when you have grown enough, they will return, in a way only the universe could design. And that day is today. If your heart is beating a little faster as you hear this, if you feel as though something is gently touching your soul, don't ignore it. Because that is a signal. A signal that you are not alone. A signal that every loss had meaning. And a signal that you are about to be reborn. So, Sagittarius, Keep walking. Not as someone who once failed, but as someone who is returning, stronger, deeper, and more perfectly timed than ever before. And now, after surviving the harshest trials, after your soul has been weathered by the storms, this is the moment when sacred energies gather around you, like a whisper from the universe. The time has come. Not for you to start over like someone who is learning to love life again, but for you to return as someone who has awakened. You may not see every star clearly, but trust that right now, your star chart, especially the aspects tied to Sagittarius, is mapping out a radiant, intentional, and vibrant path. Jupiter, your ruling planet, is not just a symbol of luck. It is your spiritual guide. When Jupiter moves into houses like the 12th, the 4th, or the 1st in your chart, it signals that a sacred part of your life is being reawakened. This is the phase where the universe reverses the wind to return to you what was once delayed. A dream once abandoned. An opportunity you thought had slipped away. A project that was buried in the past because of fear, circumstance, or simply wrong timing. Now, it's all beginning to return. Not through the same old doors, but through new paths, more mature, more whole. Pluto, the planet of rebirth and power, is also playing a key role in this process. Pluto is not gentle. It does not comfort you with sweet reassurances. Instead, Pluto takes you deep down to confront the parts of yourself you once rejected. Maybe you let others take your voice. Maybe you made yourself small to be accepted. Maybe you buried your creativity, your feelings, and your dreams just to survive. But Pluto no longer allows that. It is stirring within you a deep inner quake. A reminder that says, it's time to reclaim your power. And that power, Sagittarius, was never lost. It has only been waiting for you to be brave enough to take it back. At the same time, the North Node, the point where destiny and freedom intersect, is guiding your soul. The North Node is where your soul is called. Not to relive the past, but to rise above it. When the North Node aligns with key points in your chart, it means this. What is returning is not just for you to possess again, but for you to use it more wisely this time. Relationships, dreams, opportunities, they do not come back the same. Because you are not the same. They return to resonate with the version of you that has matured, learned to love yourself, and knows how to say no to what no longer deserves you. And that is why, even if what returns looks like the past, you must view it with new eyes. An old relationship reappearing does not mean you must go back. But if you've learned to set boundaries, if you've healed your wounds, and if they return with awareness and sincerity, this could be your chance to rebuild on a stronger foundation. A once dreamt of job suddenly opens up, not for you to do what you did before, but for you to rise into a new, more worthy position. And above all, a part of you, the part buried beneath doubt, judgment, or exhaustion, is returning, calling you home to yourself. Pause for a moment, Sagittarius. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. And listen. There is a voice, very soft, but very clear, echoing from deep within your mind. It says, I have returned. I am you, the one who was brave, passionate, and full of faith. You left me behind, but I don't blame you. I just want to walk with you again, this time, with fuller love. And you will see, as you walk forward with a healed heart, that everything around you begins to shift. Those who once forgot you, now remember. Doors that once shut, now open. And things you once thought were just distant dreams, now slowly become real. All you have to do is not turn your back on it. Don't think you're too old to begin again. Because true beginnings are not defined by age. They are defined by a heart that's ready to believe. The universe does not measure time by clocks. The universe measures by readiness. And if you have lived through your deepest losses, then you are also standing at the door of your greatest restoration. Do not let the ghosts of the past prevent you from receiving the gift of the present. The past has taught you, but it has no right to define you. Step into the new chapter with all the courage you have. Even if your first steps tremble, walk. Even if no one understands you, still believe. Even if you have lost so much, never forget that you have kept the most important thing, the fire in your heart. That flame, no one can extinguish it. Now, as the gateways of energy open, as the sky whispers secrets meant only for you, what many Sagittarians are beginning to sense is not the return of a specific thing, but the feeling that everything is finding its way back. But returning in a very different way. Not a repetition of the past, but a restoration of what is worthy, in the right timing, aligned with the new and stronger version of you. This is the profound beauty of the present moment, where what you thought was lost is really only waiting for you to grow enough to receive it. The first thing returning is the opportunity you once missed. Maybe it was a job that once made your heart race, a project you pursued with all your passion, a journey you dreamed of but had to abandon halfway. Back then, you weren't ready. Back then, things weren't aligned. Back then, the timing wasn't ripe. But now it's different. The universe is shifting to bring you back to your rightful place. Doors you thought were closed are now opening, not to push you, not to pressure you, but to invite you in as someone who chooses with clarity. If you listen closely, you will see, what you once regretted most is slowly returning in a new form. And this time, you are strong enough to hold it. No more doubt. No more hesitation. Only gratitude and readiness. The second thing finding its way back to you is the connection that once broke. Not everyone who left you will return, but the soul connections, the ones bound by depth, always find their way. It might be an old friend, a spiritual bond, someone who understood you without needing words. It might be a part of yourself, the one you left behind when you had to be strong. These connections are not here to be restored as they once were. Because you don't need copies of the past. You need truth and healing. And if something or someone is returning now, trust that it is not by accident. The universe does not send the past back to you unless you are strong enough to face it with a wiser heart. This is your chance to reset boundaries, to speak the pain you never voiced, and if needed, to forgive and move forward, this time with real peace. And the most important thing, the one returning more powerfully than anything else, is you. The part of your soul that once burned bright, once dared to dream big, once believed anything was possible, that part is waking up again. Maybe you once punished yourself. Maybe you felt exhausted. Maybe you doubted everything about who you are. But now, after all the trials, all the collisions, all the breaking, you are not left in ruins. What remains is the purest version of you. You no longer need others' approval to believe in your worth. You no longer need to overprove anything. Because now, you know who you are. And that is the purest power. When you reclaim yourself, your inner voice becomes clearer. Your intuition sharpens. And your confidence no longer depends on how others see you. This is the moment to say what you once feared to say. To stand where you once bowed. And to shine where you once hid. Not to prove anything, but to live fully in what your soul chose when it came into this life. If something in your life is starting to return, do not rush to doubt it. Observe. Feel. And ask yourself, do I still want this, with the heart I have now? Because not everything that returns needs to be kept. But everything that returns at the right time carries a sacred message. And if your heart stirs as you read these words, if it feels like some part of this story is speaking for you, then pause for a moment. Gently, and say to yourself, I am ready to receive all that was always meant to be mine. This is not just an affirmation. It is a soul invocation. And now, as the universe begins to send its first signals, as the things you once lost slowly find their way back, one essential question must be asked. Are you truly ready to receive it? Because the return that the universe offers you, Sagittarius, is not a reward for waiting. It is the result of growth. The universe does not simply return things because you once hurt or lost them. The universe returns them when you have become large enough, wise enough, and humble enough to hold them with love, not with fear. So how do you step into this new chapter without repeating the old one? How do you not only regain what you lost but keep it, cherish it, and build from the roots of your soul? First, and most important, let go of the fear that the past will repeat. You are no longer the person you were. You are not as fragile as when everything first fell apart. Back then, you did your best with the awareness you had. You loved with your whole heart. You believed with your entire soul. You followed something with all your faith. But now, you carry wisdom. You don't just believe, you understand. You don't just love, you know how to love yourself first. And that changes everything. Letting go of fear doesn't mean forgetting your pain. It means no longer letting it control you. Second, stay open to things returning in unexpected ways. A dream from long ago might not return in the shape you remember. It might come through a stranger. Through an opportunity in a field you never imagined. Or through a challenge that first unsettles you. But remember, miracles don't always appear in grand forms. Sometimes they arrive in silence. Through a phone call. Through a door that seems plain, but behind it is the turning of destiny. Don't box in how you think miracles should appear. Let the universe do its part. And you, just keep your heart open and your spirit steady. Third, reclaim your voice and your right to choose. When old people, old opportunities, or old memories come back, remember this. This time, you are the one who decides what stays. You no longer have to bend to please others. You no longer need permission to be yourself. If someone returns, ask, do they value me the way I've learned to value myself? If an old option reappears, ask, do I truly want this, or am I just afraid of missing out? And if it's yourself, the old soul within, coming back, say to it, we will move forward, but this time, guided by a conscious heart. And finally, what cannot be left out? Visualize that great return as if it has already happened. Imagine yourself living inside what you once prayed for. Feel the joy as if it's already here. See yourself through the eyes of someone who has overcome every trial. When you live, think, and feel as if it is real, the universe will respond to that energy. Because you don't attract what you want. You attract what you become. You don't have to do everything perfectly. You just have to be sincere. Take time every day to listen to yourself. Write down what you are ready to receive. Forgive yourself for the times you let go too soon, or held on too long. And step into tomorrow as if it's the brightest chapter in the book of your life. Because truly, it is. Sagittarius, what you once lost, whether it was love, opportunity, or yourself, is returning. But not so you can repeat the old story. But so you can write a new one with everything you've learned. This is no longer the journey of someone searching. This is the journey of someone who knows who they are, and is ready to hold what is beautifully meant for their soul. And now, as each piece seems to fall into place, as light returns to the spaces you once thought would stay dark forever, I just want you to pause, just for a moment, to feel life vibrating in your heart. You've walked a long road. At times, it felt like you were alone. At times, it was so quiet, you thought the universe had forgotten you. But it hasn't. The universe never forgets Sagittarius. Because your soul is one of the bravest ever sent to this earth. You did not come here to live an ordinary life. You did not come here to hide in silence. You did not come here to forget the dreams of your soul. You came here to shine. You were not born to shrink after pain. You are not someone who surrenders to fate. You are the one who rewrites it. What you once lost was never truly gone. It only took a long path to refine you. It only stepped back so you could step forward with steadiness. And when you are ready, like now, it returns. Gently. But with certainty. Carrying the sacred promise. Nothing meant for you can ever truly leave you. So stop doubting. Stop asking if you are enough. You've always been enough. You just never gave yourself permission to believe it. Now, believe. Open your heart to receive what you once loved. The things that made your heart burn. The things that made you feel truly alive. And if they return in a different form, welcome them with the heart of someone who knows. You are being chosen by the universe to begin a brand new chapter. If you're still listening in these final moments, it's not by accident. Your soul brought you here to hear exactly what you needed. And if something in your heart has opened just now, let it open fully. Let yourself walk into this new chapter with awareness, courage, and unconditional love for who you are. If you are ready to receive the return of what is sacred, write in the comments. I am ready to receive all that is rightfully mine. This is not just a sentence. It is a signal your soul is sending back to the universe. It is an invocation. It is a soul promise given to the stars. And if this video has touched you, don't keep it to yourself. Like it. Share it. Spread this energy to hearts that are still waiting. Because sometimes, a single reminder at the right moment can awaken a soul that thought it had fallen silent forever. And remember, what you plant in light, the universe will return to you in miracles. Sagittarius, you are not coming back the same. You are coming back as a symbol of resurrection. And this is only the beginning.